Welcome to What the Tech, the show that cuts right through the corporate spin to get to what's really going on. You hear it all the time in the media, right? Gen Z is quiet quitting, or they're just so entrepreneurial. But that's not the real story. This is not some lifestyle trend, it's an escape plan.
So let's just start with this number, because it is staggering. 57%. Seriously, let that sink in. More than half of an entire generation is working a side gig. Now, this isn't some niche thing. This is a massive shift in how people work. And it really just begs one simple question. Why?
Well, if you read the mainstream business articles, you get this very sanitized, feel-good answer. It's all about redefining success and finding purpose. It sounds great, doesn't it? It frames the whole thing as this proactive, philosophical choice, like it's just a quirky little lifestyle trend.
But that is not the real story. Forget the spin. This isn't a vibe. This isn't a choice. It is a flashing red warning sign that the fundamental deal, the basic contract between employers and employees, is completely and utterly broken.
So let's do what we do here and translate that corporate spin. This whole side hustle explosion, it's not really about Gen Z being more creative or more ambitious than everyone else. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of a systemic failure, a defensive reaction to a world that feels incredibly, incredibly unstable.
I mean, this chart just says it all, doesn't it? Just look at that gap. 57% of Gen Z has a side gig, while only 21% of boomers do. Now, that's not because Gen Z is magically more entrepreneurial. It's because their primary job is way less secure, less rewarding, and frankly, far less trusted than it was for generations before them.
You'll hear this line a lot, that young people are disillusioned with the traditional career ladder. It's always framed as this kind of philosophical preference, like they just woke up one day and decided that climbing the ladder was like totally uncool. But the reality, it is so much harsher than that. They aren't disillusioned with the ladder because they think it's lame. They're disillusioned because they literally watched it collapse in real time, right in front of them. They saw the rungs just snap off one by one. And look, this isn't some abstract feeling. It's a direct response to very real economic pressures. We're talking about constant hiring freezes, the looming threat of AI just wiping out entire categories of junior roles, wages that can't even dream of keeping up with inflation, and promotions that are so slow your rent will literally double before you get a tiny little raise. This isn't a new mindset, this is just defensive adaptation. So what happens when the ladder collapses? Well, the 9-to-5 gets officially demoted. It is no longer the center of a person's identity, it's not their main source of ambition anymore, it's been downgraded from a calling to, well, just a cash engine. And this quote from some Glassdoor researchers absolutely nails the quiet revolution that's happening right now. Ambition hasn't vanished, not at all. It's just been rerouted. It's been rerouted away from the employer and towards something that Gen Z can actually own and control. The 9-to-5? Yeah, that's just the seed money now. And all of this leads to what I'm calling the great disconnect. See, on one side, you have employers who still want culture and engagement and all that discretionary effort. On the other side, you've got Gen Z, and they want runway for their own projects, the ability to pivot, and time to build their own thing. One side is begging for loyalty, the other side just wants a paycheck. The expectations could not be more misaligned. Look, this is the no BS analysis you come to What the Tech for. And if you appreciate us cutting through all that hype, do us a quick favor. Hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and drop a comment below. We actually want to know what you think about all this. The media loves to romanticize hustle culture. It sounds so glamorous. But is it really a hustle, or is it just burnout on a payment plan? Let's get real about what I call double shift capitalism. So what is that? It's basically the normalization of working two jobs, but rebranding the second one as this cool, empowering side hustle. Now look, sure, some people are launching amazing passion projects, but for a whole lot of people, it's just working more hours because one job doesn't pay the bills. Calling it flexibility doesn't change the fact that it's often just pure exhaustion. And there is another massive elephant in the room fueling all of this: AI. Back in 2018, financial optimism among college students was at its peak. Today, it has hit an all-time low. And the number one reason they cite is the very real fear that AI is going to make their future jobs obsolete before they even get to start them. They're watching these junior roles get frozen or just eliminated, and they are responding logically. And you know what? This is not paranoia. This is a completely rational, logical response. It's game theory. If your one and only source of income could just vanish because of automation, what's the most logical move you can make? You diversify.
It is a strategic hedge against a very volatile future.
Okay, so if you're a manager or an executive and you're watching this, what on earth are you supposed to do? This final section is for you. This is the real playbook for this new reality, and I promise you, it is not what your HR department is going to tell you. So you're going to hear that sanitized HR language one last time, that this is all a happy choice about independence and purpose. But we know what that corporate speak is really hiding, don't we?
Here is the blunt, honest translation. Every single side hustle is quietly screaming the same thing. I do not trust your company, I do not trust your promotion path, and I absolutely will not bet my financial future on your stability. It is a profound vote of no confidence. So the most crucial takeaway for every employer is this. Your people are not quietly quitting. They are quietly diversifying. Your most ambitious employees, the ones you really want to keep, are the most likely to be building something on the side. They are optimizing for their own freedom, not for tenure at your company. They are always building their plan B. This really only leaves companies with two very clear choices. One, you can fight it. You can roll out rigid policies, you can talk about full commitment, and you will absolutely lose your best people and be left with the ones who have no other options. Or two, you can adapt. Pay people what they're actually worth, stop the whole we're a family nonsense, and build jobs that provide real, valuable, portable skills. You just have to accept that loyalty is no longer permanent.
Which brings us to the final question, and this one is for every single person watching. We've pretty much established that your company isn't your family. It will not hesitate to cut you for the sake of a spreadsheet. So the real question this whole trend forces every single one of us to ask ourselves is, what's your plan B?